Hey, what's up, builders? It's your girl, Kantoinette the blogger, and you are now listening to the LBF podcast. This is a different kind of hood, but this time we're going to be talking about stay at home moms with stay at home mom vibes. Go ahead and say something for the builders.
Hi guys, my name is Kanisha Rush, and I'm a mom of four, a wife. I'm a business owner, and that's a little brief background of who I am.
Yes. We have been trying to do an episode for a while. You have your own podcast. So let's start there. Let's talk about what made you want to share your story in podcast form as a stay-at-home mom.
Well, I decided to do this to be a podcaster because it's hard. Well, I've never seen a black stay-at-home mom. Never. Growing up, it was not a thing. It was always white women were stay-at-home moms, and
Mm,
so my grandmother. I don't even want to say she was a stay-at-home mom because she had worked so many years, and then she retired. And by the time she retired, she had kids. I mean, her kids were grown, so I was just like, who can I inspire? Because our story needs to be told.
yeah.
There's black stay-at-home moms. There's not many because before I started my podcast, I Googled and I YouTube. You don't see a lot of black stay-at-home moms that look like
Right.
me, and
Right.
I just wanted to just make it for somebody to say, okay, well, there's another one.
I absolutely love that. When I first saw that, you had a podcast and that was the subject matter, I immediately sent it to my sister. My sister is a stay at home mom, and she has to be because of her health issues, but also because she has triplets. So I'm not sure if she would,
Wow.
work if she, even had the opportunity. She would probably do something, but, just by circumstance, she is a stay at home mom. And so I was just like, oh my God, for me, she was the only woman that, a black woman that I had seen that was a stay at home mom. I come from a very long line of working mothers. So
Mm-hmm.
I
Yep.
love that that was your subject matter because I was just like, it's such a need to tell this truth that so many women, especially because black women are taught to be all these different kind of things, but stay at home moms is
Mm-hmm.
not one of those things we're taught to
Right.
be. It's such a need to tell that side of the story. So I was inspired by your story, and we want to give the builders a chance to just hear your perspective on being a stay at home mom. So let's just kind of start with, like you said, you have four children. What are their ages?
Mm-hmm. The oldest one is Nazir. He's 14. He'll be 15 August the 2nd. Then there's Noah. He's 9. And there's Nigel. He's 6. And then Nadia, which I call her Miss Nadia. She's 3.
So it sounds
She's
like
a
y'all was
little
trying for the baby
firecracker.
girl, and y'all finally got one.
Girl. Yes. Yes, we
I
finally
know.
got her.
Do you want any more after? Or are you trying? Are you guys trying?
Well, I wanted more children, but I have my tools removed, which I talk about on my podcast as well.
Right.
Quentin didn't want any more, but I wanted a house full of kids. Okay, I wanted the Brady bunch, but it's gonna be the Rush brunch.
I know that's right. So, with that being said, how old were you when you became a mom?
When I first had
16.
Nasir.
What
Hmm.
were the emotions around that?
A child having a child, like I was not ready at all. A lot of peer pressure played into that because young growing up, you're like, okay, and me being the only child, oh, this person's having sex, and so I did it and got pregnant with Nas, and then I was like, so we had to grow up together.
Right.
It was like he was my son, but he also was like a little brother because I didn't know how to be a mom,
Hmm.
so we had to grow and learn from each other. He taught me how to be a mom.
That's amazing that you can be that honest about the experience. Because a lot of people want to,
Hmm.
sometimes act like they just came out knowing and.
Mm-mm. Girl, I ain't want nothing to do with him. I was like, a baby? Oh no, him, I had his baby.
So, moving forward, how old were you when you became a stay-at-home mom?
Oh wow. I was in my early 20s because I can't even really remember the exact age. I know I was in my early 20s. And it's like I was pushed to be a stay at home mom because when me and Quentin got married, I was in college and I moved in with him and his parents. So
Right.
I don't even want to say I was a stay at home mom because in my eyes, a stay at home mom is you home by yourself with those kids because I had help. So
Got you.
I would honestly say I became a true stay at home mom around 2015 is when
Okay.
we moved into our own home.
Okay. That's still.
Girl,
So you were still home with them kids.
but it was
But
different. It was
yeah,
like
yeah,
when I didn't want to deal with them, I was like, go to grandma. You
right.
know,
So what was for you? Was it a hard transition when you did have to move into your home and deal with them solo, without that support being so close?
yes, ma'am. Because that's why I talk openly about stay at home mom depression, which I never knew it was a
Hmm.
thing until I started Googling. And a lot of people are like, oh, don't Google. But I found out I dealt with stay at home mom depression the first year I became a stay at home mom. When we moved into our home, I started having these different emotions and different feelings like, what's going on? It was hard. A lot of
Right.
people are like, oh, no, it's easy being a stay at home mom. Honey, it was hard. It was so hard. A lot of people don't know the isolation that you feel as a woman. You lose yourself. You're like, okay, I know I'm Kanisha, but I have all of these different titles now. I'm a wife, I'm a mom,
Yeah.
you know, versus going out. I was working at a doctor's office before, dealing with so many different people. Now I'm only dealing with, at that time, three little
Children.
people.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm like, oh Lord, I would love to have an adult conversation.
I hear
Like,
that a
it was,
lot.
yeah, it was crazy.
And I think that was one of the first episodes of yours that I actually listened to, and that's why I was just like, my sister, she had struggled with it too, and not having the language to kind of articulate it sometimes, like you said, the only thing you know how to do is see if it might be somebody else that can help you understand what you're experiencing, and so a lot of times what we do
Right.
is Google. Um,
Hmm.
and then you find your community from there, or you see that there's not a community for it, and then you create the space to try to have those kind of conversations. So that was definitely one of the things that I thought about when I saw your podcast, was the fact that you know depression, I think for a lot of stay-at-home moms, is just such a real thing, because people kind of forget that you have needs outside the family, like, and wants and
Yes.
desires, and
Hmm.
because you're not the outside the house working mom, I feel like a lot of people also look down on the position. So I'll ask you, what do you feel like are the common misconceptions about stay-at-home mothers?
We don't do nothing all day. We just sit at home and we got it made. We can do what we want to do. We just sit at home and shop on Amazon Prime all day, and we don't do nothing. Which that is farthest from the truth,
Right. What does your typical day look like for you?
child. Now let's talk about now that school is out.
Mm-hmm.
There's no sleeping in. I
Mm-hmm.
hit the floor. I get up at 6:30 to see Quentin off to work, and then I'm up. Sometimes I can get back in the bed if Nadia still is asleep, but if she's up, then I need to cook some breakfast. I have to pick up, and my kids are older. Nadia's the
Mm-hmm.
last, she's 3, but she's old enough to pick up after herself. But there's something that always needs to be done, whether there's laundry, dusting something, cleaning something, there's running errands. It's always something that needs to be done.
Right. So how do you handle the pressure of trying to find time to do all the family stuff? Where do you carve out space for yourself?
At night,
That's the
late
same thing
night,
my sister
girl, when I'm chilling be so late.
does.
It's me and TikTok. Like that's my thing now. Is TikTok and I watch TV a little bit. I have
Hmm.
some select shows that I like to watch, but it's mainly at night when they are asleep. And like I always go back to Nadia because she's 3, so she's the more needy one.
Right.
When I give her that bath, I'm looking at the time like, so you ain't about ready to go to bed, sis? Like it's almost time. So I put her in that bed and she sleep, and that is my time.
Right. Okay. So basically from the conversation, like you never saw yourself as a stay-at-home mother. Is that what you're kind of getting at?
Mm-mm. I love my life now, but I never. You know how you graduate from high school and they're like, okay, so what's your plan? Your 5-year plan.
Mm-hmm.
My 5-year plan was to be in the Navy. That was
Okay.
my plan. Even though I had Nazir, um, that was my plan still. And then I guess God was like, no, ma'am, not going to do that. That wasn't for you. So
Right.
I just, things happen.
Right, right. But I mean, and especially dreams change, based on your life circumstances,
Hmm.
and as you mature and experience different things, you might look back on stuff and be like, "Dang, I wish I would have did that." But then you realize, like, you might not have had some of the experiences and the things in your life that you have currently. So it makes it's like a
Right.
bittersweet sometimes, but also
Yep.
like, you have a
Hmm.
gratitude for where you are. So, I get that aspect of it at least. So, how do
Yep.
you think the world views Black mothers in general?
Wow. That is a deep, deep question because where we came from, slavery, and I think it's so much I want to say on that.
Say
I feel like,
it.
girl, look,
You
put
got
the
free
hair
reign.
behind the ear. I feel like at us like we're not good parents,
Mm,
and like I say, I always say this on my podcast. I am not racist. I'm here for all mamas, okay,
hmm.
soon to be mamas or whatever. But when you look at our Black women, Black America history, it was the cards was never in our favor, and I feel like they never wanted. People never want when you look at a Black family, you just see like a mama. That's it. And so it's like, okay, they're not doing a good job with their children. I wonder, are they doing a good job?
Hmm.
And that makes me question myself sometimes. Like, am I doing a good job? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I want to go deeper because I got this book. I wish I had the book with me. I got this book from the library the other day, and it was free, and it was called Black America, and it was just pictures. And girl, I cried looking through that book because it was so deep. Just looking
Hmm.
at a mother with her children, and we've came from a long way since
Right.
slavery time. Just a mother and her child. There's no other feeling or no other bond than a mother with her child.
Hmm.
So you aspire to be better. You aspire to do more with them and be your better authentic self for them.
Yeah. um.
I
Hmm.
hope I answered your question.
No, you did. You did. I'm thinking about my answer. I'm sorry. You answered it perfectly, and I love that you were honest in it because I tell people all the time, please be candid,
Hmm.
be as honest and transparent as you can because that just makes the conversation better. But I think I see another side of it. I think that Black mothers are seen as the mothers of the world, and what I mean by that is we are seen as everyone's nurturers, everybody's leaning post, everybody's go to get that support, that empathy. We are that for everybody in every race. You think of the mammy figure, like you said, especially like from the slave times and everything else. But Black mothers are just seen as everybody's to consume, and I think that
Yep.
more than other mothers, Black mothers are seen are not given the autonomy to be women in the same way that other mothers are, if that makes sense.
Yes,
Like
it
I feel
does.
like we are seen as the givers, give, and we're not supposed to keep anything for ourselves, right? And also on the other side of that, to your point, when we do make mistakes, we don't get the same grace. So we are also seen as, the mothers who are supposed to be we're supposed to be perfect in our approach, and that's different from fathers, but it's also different from mothers of other races. Like, we aren't allowed to be a mess. We're not allowed to be broken or struggling with our own stuff because Black mothers are supposed to just be everything.
Hmm. And I
So,
think as women, we have to have that thicker skin.
mhm.
You know, like you said, we're not. allowed to show any emotion, or we have to be strong. Like when I deal with my, because I still deal with stay-at-home mom depression. I go in that bathroom, girl, I put on a piece of crying, and I come out like, okay, so let me go ahead and wash these clothes.
Right.
Because we can't. We've been taught even as a child, toughen up. You can't cry. Don't do that. You hide that. Don't let them people see you in your raw emotion.
And it's
So
crazy because we know that's the experience of a lot of men. But a lot of men would say, we're not taught to show emotion and stuff like that. And the question I've been asking lately is, are black women? Like, I don't really think that we are given free reign to be vulnerable the way that y'all try to act like we are. I really think that, especially because we are the support system or seen as a support system for men, especially black men.
yeah.
We're when you say that you don't have a space to be vulnerable, but yet you can be vulnerable with us, who can we be vulnerable with? Because somebody got to be strong, and
Right.
So I'm starting to think of that a little differently, because I'm starting to tell people too, like, listen, I'm don't label me as no strong black woman. Just label me as a woman.
Yes.
That means
Yes.
I'm strong. I'm vulnerable. I'm a mess. Sometimes I'm together. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I am multifaceted, and I want y'all to stop labeling me so that you can use me to your benefit.
Yes.
So, mm-hmm.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. I don't want no labels. I'm Kanisha.
that's
That's it. And
it.
whatever you get is who I am.
Mm-hmm.
So
How do you think the world views stay-at-home moms? I think I kind of asked that, but at least stay-at-home black mothers.
we on welfare.
Ooh,
We getting food stamps.
ooh.
The government taking care of us. Girl, I got chills just now
Come
because
on,
that's
because you spoke a
it.
word. Now you spoke a word.
Girl, because even me growing up as a child, that's
Mm-hmm.
what I thought. When you see a black woman in the grocery store with a buggy full of food, I was see. Look, I told you. I got one right here, Nadia. Get see. I told you.
Look, authentic episode. That's what this is. Baby girl done walked in the room. She said, I want to talk too. I need something. I need somebody to hear me.
Look, what's going on? What's going on in here? But when you would see a woman with a bucket full of grocery, you was like, oh, she on food stamps. That's
Mm-hmm.
how I grew up thinking. So that's how the world views us. Oh, if they sitting at home, they on Section A, they on
Mm-hmm.
welfare. The government got to be taking care of them. Not
But
knowing
we
that
not even
I'm married.
right. But not even seeing the context of the circumstance. Like, even when you think about it, it's like, okay, she on food stamps. She probably on food stamps because she can't get a job because childcare costs so high. Okay, let's talk about that. She don't have a partner that's going to help her actually watch these kids, take care of them, contribute to the
Yep.
household. So somebody got to be home with them, unless y'all want to
Mhm.
just lock her up for, neglect, which y'all ready to do that to any black woman,
But you
for
know what?
whatever reason.
When it comes to that, we see that a lot in the news about women leaving kids in the car, or like
Mm-hmm.
one time the lady left her child in a hotel. She was looking for a job.
Mm-hmm.
And when I hear stories like that, I'm like, so what was the backstory? Now, if she going leaving her child in the car to go get her nails done, okay,
Right.
but she's out here looking for a job. Why would you
Mm-hmm.
throw that woman in jail?
Girl, it's the system we live in. I think I was following a story of a woman, kind of the same kind of situation. Yeah, it might have been the same situation. I think she was going on an interview and she left the child
Yep.
like in a hotel, and
Mhm.
they arrested her for it. And she had been in and out of court about it, and she finally won the case. And I think they even raised some money for her to kind of be okay. But it's just ridiculous when you think about even women having to try to send their are black, I ain't gonna say women, black mothers trying to send their children to better schools, so they're using addresses or different things because the resources are better on one side of town than the other. And it's just like the decisions we have to make because we are not seen as valuable. It's just
Mhm.
crazy.
Yeah.
So what does motherhood mean to you?
It means basically like what we talked about, just being a pillar for your children, being there for them emotionally, and that's the main thing. Emotionally, especially like what's going on in America now with black, and just being that go-to person for I'm speaking for me.
Yeah.
My motherhood meaning is for my kids to be able to come to me being open about anything, and just me being that safe place, you know. So that's what that means for me, is just being a mom that is open to
Right.
just to my kids, you know.
Ain't nothing like a mama. Look, because when you said
Girl.
that, I got chills because I was thinking about mama. I was like, it was, it was at least about 2 weeks ago. I just wrote about I'm going through a bout of depression too, so it happens. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not a one that really talks a lot. I write a lot, and then I might do a podcast about it, and that's as much as you're gonna get about me dealing with a situation. But my mom knows this about me, so I went home and I just laid in her bed, and she came in there and she's like, "You want to talk?" And I was just like, "Nah." And she's like, "You want me to hold you?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And she
Girl.
held me for like 2 hours. We watched like a show or something. There is nothing like being able to have that space to be vulnerable, to be open, to be cared for, and to just soak up love. Like, and I think that's what Black mothers do on so many levels for so many people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And even like when you were saying about how your mom held you and stuff, I think about the Boys to Men song, Mama. You
Mama.
know, girl, like how food can just nurture you. You know, just
Ooh.
like how your mama can just nurture you in different ways
Mm-hmm.
without even saying words. You know,
Yeah.
so
It's just that knowing.
they know, and then like if nobody, you know, you be like, okay, my mama got my back. You know, I know
If
nobody else ain't
nobody
got my
else.
back. Girl, I be like, lady, my mom name is Diane. I be like, lady, and I call her Lady D. I be like, Lady D coming. If nobody else ain't coming, I know.
You know, your mom was my fourth grade teacher. I think it was fourth grade.
That's you're thinking about Shaniqua, Miss McClellan. You're thinking about my mother-in-law.
Oh, okay. I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
I got
Now
it mixed up.
we all live down on because your mom still lives on the dirt road, right? I don't want to give the address, the
Mm-mm.
name of the
She
road.
moved. She moved on the other side of town, but she did. We
Okay.
did live there. We
Yeah.
did.
Okay.
We
So
did.
you're thinking about Miss McClellan.
You definitely look. You
Mm-hmm.
done been a part of the family so much. I'm
Girl,
starting to get
that's
confused. Look, I'm sitting here like, yeah, I took your mom. No, you did. Okay, how were you impacted or shaped by your relationship with your mother?
um well, my stepdad was in the picture, but it mainly was me and my mom.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew that my mom was a hard worker, and I knew I wanted to be the epitome of that. Like I wanted to be a hard working woman because I seen my mama work hard up to the day that she retired. So, and I knew she ain't take no crap. So I was like, I ain't taking no crap from nothing, you know. And she was just she was a strong woman. You know, of
Right.
course, we don't want to label, but
Oh,
that
yeah,
was
but
my
it's
strong
true.
woman.
It's true.
Yeah, she
When you're
was a
strong, you're
strong
strong.
woman.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I definitely took I wanted those characteristics. Looking up at my mom, like, okay, she did this, I want to do that. You
Mm-hmm.
know, so I adopted those traits into what I do today.
Right. Now, did the aspect of you seeing, because you mentioned how hard she worked, did you struggle with that at being a stay-at-home mom because of the dynamic being different? You being a stay-at-home mom and that being a new experience, and you seeing a woman who had a career, was that something that you struggled with?
A little bit, because this is my second time being a stay-at-home mom, because I was a stay-at-home mom, then I was like, Quinn, I really want to work. I really want to work. I want to work in my field because when I graduated college, I never worked in my field as being a medical assistant.
Right.
So when I finally did it, child, I was ready to come home. So watching my mama work all those years, I was like, good
I'm
job,
good.
Diane. You got it, sis. I work hard at being a stay-at-home mom.
Right.
I like being at home.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. I know how that can you kind of have to break out of that mentality that I think every woman has to go through. Is just like, okay, this is what your
Mm-hmm.
mom was, and that was the example you had of what a black woman is supposed to be or a mother is supposed to be. And then at some point, you're going to have to decide whether you want to follow that path or whether you want to make your own. And you can still pull from all the lessons and stuff that she gave you, but it's just you're on another path, and sometimes people don't break out of that, and then they beat themselves up for not being exactly the example that their mom set. And so it's just like, no, you're your own person. So you
Yes.
just got to keep that in mind.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have other mother figures in your life?
I have my mother-in-law. I have my sister-in-law, and I have some of my cousins. I look up to them, and some of my cousins be like, "Child, I want to be a stay-at-home mom." I'm like, "You better be careful what you say, because
Okay.
everybody can't handle it."
I know that's right. You be like, listen, you think the grass greener, you got to water this grass over
Child,
here
girl,
and take care of these
mm-mm.
kids.
Yes. I mean, because it's different. It's a lot, and I think what America does is put the working mom and the stay-at-home mom kind of against each other,
Mm-hmm.
because they're like, "Oh, I go out here working 9 to 5. I'm working hard, and I only see my kids at night." Then you have the stay-at-home mom where I'm at home all day with my kids, and I don't like to, because I did both. Like I always say on my
Right.
podcast, I did both. But what suited me better was being at home with my kids. Some moms don't have a
Luxury.
luxury,
Mm-hmm.
of, okay, I want to stay at home. They would love to stay at home with their kids if they could, but I don't say, okay, well, this one's better, this one's better.
Right.
I just tell other moms, do what works for you, what's best for you in your
Right.
household.
And it's a different experience. I mean, you really can't compare the two. Either way, it's both work. Like whether you're out working, and I do understand moms who do have to work a job and feel like they have to come home and
Mm-hmm.
still take care of the home. But I'm just like, that's something you need to kind of communicate if you do have a partner,
Yes.
with that partner too, to kind of help you with balance
Yeah.
so that you're
Because
not taking on everything.
I think what really told Quentin, like, okay, well, I'm going to let her come back on home, because, girl, I used to work, come home, cook, and I would be asleep at the table.
Ooh.
I'm eating and I'm just like, forget eating. I'm about to go to sleep. And I think he felt kind of bad, like, come on home. So when I got
Come
pregnant
on,
with Nadia, he
baby.
was like, come, I'm going to leave the door open. That's what he
I'm gonna
told
leave. Okay.
me. Girl, I've been home ever since.
Now with your dynamic with your spouse, like how is that? Like, cause I was talking to you on the fatherhood episode, and he was mentioning how his wife takes care of majority of like the household things, and how he had to get a better understanding of how to divvy up the responsibilities, how to actually be more involved with the children. Is that a conversation you feel like you had to have with your spouse about, hey, just because I'm home don't mean you ain't gotta be emotionally, mentally, and spiritually involved in this?
One thing that me and Quentin always did was, we always say, a Bible based marriage, which
Mm-hmm.
is, we believe the man is over the outside. He works outside of the home, and the woman is the house. I don't want to say the housekeeper, but she keeps up the house and the children
Mm-hmm.
and stuff. So that's kind of like where we base our marriage at, is I'm going to take care of the kids and in the home. He just takes care. He goes clock in at work, and he takes care of like the yard work and different stuff like that. And
Right.
it ain't too bad when he wants to help sometimes too. To give a bath here and there or wash a
Right.
dish, but it's not like, oh, well, you need to be helping me. It's not like that. you know.
Right. I mean, because for you, like you said, y'all had that conversation and you agreed on how you wanted to divvy up those gender roles and those kind of spaces that you need to fill to make the household and the marriage work or the parenting work. And that's perfectly fine. And I do know that we have a concept, and I know I'm bad at it too, of being like, hey, it might not be exactly 50-50, but understand. But I'm coming from a perspective because I am outside of the home. And also, I ain't got no kids. And
Right.
I just look at kids as like, as beautiful because I love kids, but I'm just like, I know y'all little things are a lot of work. So, with me and my partner, I would expect him to be involved in some of the child rearing and the responsibilities and stuff like that. But that is something that works for me and that person. And I think that we have to do a better job of accepting the truth that other people live and accepting the way that they want to run their life. Like, if it works, it works. Because I'm pretty sure that you're creating a structure that is healthy and that is satisfying for your children and yourselves.
Yeah, I mean, this got to be confirmation because I was thinking of a topic to talk about on my next episode about telling people to mind their business because people want to be all up in your business, like when whether it's your marriage or especially taking care of your children. If I didn't ask you to
I don't
tell
need
me,
it.
I've been doing this since my son was 14. I needed help, but I'm 4 kids in, now there's 3. I got it under control. I don't need
Right.
no advice or nothing like that. But I do ask my mom sometimes, like, okay, well, this is going on, 'cause especially since she's a girl. I ask my mom, like, okay, well, did I do this? Like, what's going on with this and stuff like that? But people are so boisterous, which is good, but
Right.
be boisterous in certain situations,
And be willing to listen to. I understand a lot of we're trying to break stuff or trying to break patterns that didn't necessarily work for us in our lives or our generation.
Yes.
Like, because we do, I think when you are someone who is paying attention, you realize like, oh, mama and daddy didn't always have it right. And I need to make sure that I'm not bringing that into my household or into my life in some way, that I'm trying to break some of this stuff. And I think that's perfectly fine. But when it gets into a space where we're being overly judgmental, we're not listening, we're not showing empathy, where we're having opinions about something that we've never experienced and we're being harsh in it, I think that we need to pump the brakes, myself included, that I'm learning like, girl, you ain't got all the answers. You do not have all the answers. And in reality, I'm making a lot of my mistakes solo. I'm not married, I don't have kids. A lot of people are in a stage where they are married, they have kids. They're going to make mistakes regardless. Even when you become a parent, you're not going to be perfect just because you waited. So it takes I think a lot of maturity to just stop and understand that people are going to be on a different kind of path. You can have a healthy conversation about some of the things you see or some of the things you're concerned about, but ultimately, just stop thinking you got the answers just because.
Yeah.
For reason.
Girl, they got a voice and they got something they want to say, child. That's how it be.
So, what are some societal expectations of motherhood that you've found challenging and that you're pushing against yourself?
Girl, it's so many. I deal with a lot of mom guilt, about different things.
I had that written down. I was going to ask you about.
Say it again.
I said I had that written down. I was going to ask you about it, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're fine. Societal. Read that question again.
So, what are some societal expectations of motherhood that you find yourself challenging or pushing against?
To be honest, I don't look at what society says a mom should be because I'm me, because looking at society will mess you up, will definitely have you having extreme mom guilt. Like, okay, this mom is doing this.
The comparison.
Prime example. I love the Duvall. The Ellises. Devell Ellis and Kadeem Ellis.
Okay, yeah.
I love watching them. child, if I look at them, how they raise their kids, I'll be messed up.
Right.
Because you look at certain situations like, okay, they let their child talk to them. A lot of kids don't say yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am, because they want to seem like they're young. Oh no.
This is a Southern thing, I think, because I've gotten in trouble with that. Because I was yes ma'am, no ma'am down, and then when I got into different spaces, I was getting talked to like, don't you call me yes ma'am or sir, or don't you call me that, and I'm just like, well, did I shoot you? Like, why are you
They
so?
don't like it.
Yeah.
Especially like Northerners, they can't
Mm-hmm.
stand that. They don't like it. And so I create my own space for my kids. Not because this is how Whitney is raising her children. I need to adapt what she's doing. Like you said, I'm open to new views,
Mm-hmm.
but I would never look at somebody else's parenting skills. That's why I always say my podcast, like, what works for me as a mom may not work for you. That's why you have to know your children.
Oh
You have to
yeah.
know each one of them individually because all of my kids are completely
And
different.
your parenting style
But
is adjusted based on that, probably.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
it is. You may like I don't know if you ever seen them online. Nadia and Nigel have the same personality, which they have my
Mm-hmm.
personality, and Noah and Nas has Quentin's personality, kind of quiet, laid back. Nigel
Right.
and Nadia are just like all over the place. They can talk to anybody. So you have to parent your kids differently.
Right. I like that. I think that's tricky when we think about at least womanhood. I can't speak for motherhood, but I think that, or even personhood. I'm not even going to say womanhood. Sometimes you have to look at society to understand yourself better, understand why you do the things you do, or why you put on your own expectations on yourself,
Mm-hmm.
because you might be influenced by what you've been seeing or what you've been experiencing out in the world. But I do think that you have to make sure that you maintain a boundary to be authentic to whatever self you find after you do the work, to kind of break some of those chains that you've been used to.
Yes,
Yeah.
I like how you said that about you know looking at society. Have you feeling some type of way and looking some type of way? Because with Nas being he's about to be 15, he likes to watch TV, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, who are you? Who is
Mm-hmm.
Nas? Don't be who Lil Baby is or NBA YoungBoy. You know what I'm saying? Like,
My niece is 17. I'm just like, girl, this ain't real life. Like, I just want you.
I'm like, they ain't shooting people up for real. They ain't in the hood with no gun for real. Like, when that director say cut, that's it. So I tell him, find your way, find out who Nas is before it's too late. Before you get wrapped up in TV, then you like, oh, I done took on this person, took on this person. I don't even know who Nas is. So
Right. So you mentioned mom guilt and depression. Um, what are some hardships that you feel stay-at-home moms have that we don't necessarily account for?
sometimes you let your kids do what they want to do. When you're tired, girl, you be like, "Can I have these cookies for breakfast?" Go ahead, just just
I
go.
don't feel like
You
dealing
know,
with it.
I don't feel like dealing with it. A lot of times, I be so tired. I don't
Mm,
feel like dealing with certain. Now, if they're like, "Oh, mom, this right here is going on," but if it's something small, just go ahead, figure it out. And
right.
um, sometimes the things the way I say things sometimes, because you growing up in a black family, we got taught too hard. Like, do you want me to pop you in your mouth? That's how your mama used to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I be like, I don't want to talk to my kids like that. Like, no,
Right.
can I have said that better? Because
Right.
I'm gonna tear you up. Now you do something you ain't got no business. Oh, we tear his butt up, okay? But
So you pro spanking?
oh, listen, straight with it. Like, we not playing no games.
Right.
Which I taught. Well, my kids aren't bad, but sometimes they get a little unruly, and you gotta,
Mm-hmm.
get them back right and stuff. Like with Nadia, I'm trying this. Let's go sit in the corner for about 10 minutes and retry this.
Oh
You
yeah, I've
know,
done that one. I've used that one. See, I'm the enforcer. My sisters call me in because I just be like, I didn't got to the point where I'm like, okay, so you don't want to stand in the corner and be quiet. Go ahead and do a plank for about, I probably do like a minute, but they little arms be shaking.
Girl, I do
I was
not
just
like
playing.
that.
Mm-mm.
I say stand like this with one
Mm-hmm.
leg up. He be like, Mom, I am sorry. But I would never. They rather. He be like, can you just beat me?
Nope.
Versus doing that.
Because
Stand up.
beating you is just gonna make me feel worse, and I don't feel like feeling guilty.
Yeah. And
So
see, I'm trying to get out of that. Because I'm like, I got beatings when I was little. Yeah, they work. Because, people say, like, oh, don't beat your kids.
yeah,
But when you look at it, I'm like, I'm whipping my child. Like, do I really want them to be scarred
right.
mentally behind that?
I
So
mean, I don't
that's
feel like
why,
I was scarred mentally, but I do get why some people choose not to. Because
yeah,
the reason behind it usually is that you are doing it out of anger and not so much
yes,
out of discipline. And I'm like, I can understand the psychology behind it. Now,
yeah.
I do think that there are some moments.
I'm beating you
I,
because I love you.
my mom, she was methodical with hers. She used to give us a certain amount of lickings, and then she would explain to us why she did it and why she did it the way that she did, why she chose it, and then she would ask how we felt, and then she would tell us she loved us. And I just
I
feel
like that.
like, yeah, I just feel like if we had a lot more of some of that,
Yeah.
you
Girl,
know.
the world would be a better place if you got toe up.
I could tell your mom ain't never put her hands on you.
Girl,
Some people out here.
prime example, little sidebar, if I
Okay, go
may.
ahead.
I took the kids, Noah's summer camp went to Ripley's Aquarium today.
I saw
And so,
that.
yeah, girl, some of them kids in there,
Oh.
like, if I could just snatch them, girl, and tear
Get the back of
themselves
that
up.
neck.
Girl, grab that collar with the two fingers. And you know how
Listen.
girl, you had to grab them and get down to the end, sit to tell that girl.
It's like especially little boys. Like my nephews, I have to. It's not aggressive, but when we're going in somewhere and I know their personalities, I just go ahead and just gently put my hand on the back of their neck and help guide them throughout the store or throughout wherever we are. Because if I don't do that, you gonna play me, and then now these people gonna be looking crazy at me because I'm talking to you stern.
Look, I'm the one that be looking crazy because my kids, because I be pushing a buggy, which Nas doesn't do because he's older. But I be like, I'll pause on that. That means one hand need to be on the buggy.
Right.
Girl, my kids looking at the other kids like, why they screaming? I'm like, I don't know, but come on. They ain't got nothing to do.
Look, you know better. That's all that matters.
That's all that matters. Give them that pep talk. You remember that pep talk we was loading the car? Don't ask for nothing, don't touch nothing, don't see nothing. I'm like,
I
so I
ain't
gotta
got
go
it.
and
You
my
ain't gonna
eyes.
get it. That was it.
That was it.
Right.
If society gets back to that, we'll be good.
I don't think it's just something to finding your own kind of discipline style, whether you choose to spank or not. But you do need to set boundaries. I do believe on some level with your child, just because that's how the world is constructed, And if they don't learn those things early on, they're gonna have trouble when they get older.
Yes.
So my mom, she was a
Mm-hmm.
very, very softer, kind of disciplinarian. My dad,
Yep.
he let her, do whatever discipline in the house that needed to be
Mm-hmm.
done. But she's a sweetheart, and
Yes, she
I
is.
still turned out fine.
Yeah,
Turned out
she was.
okay.
Your mom is very soft spoken, and
Oh, she can get up there now. No. All right, let me see. Um, what are the benefits of being a stay-at-home mom? Let's go into something positive.
Okay. Well, the benefits of being a stay-at-home mom is you're raising your children versus sending them off. You're spending more time with them. You're your child's first teacher. So you're
Mm-hmm.
teaching them, before they even start school. If you have younger ones, um, I found that we're more closer.
Right.
being at home. Even though Quentin's out at work, but in the eyes of my children, I'm the cool mom, which I don't want to be labeled that, but that's what they don't say it, but that's how I could tell. That's how they feel.
Right.
You're just more hands on versus
Right.
okay, we'll talk about it tonight, or we'll talk about it around dinner and stuff. You're constantly there, and
You're
that's what I love
involved in their
about it.
life. Yeah.
I love that. I love it.
How has it been during like the pandemic and when like you were stay at home and they were stay at home with you?
There was a lot of crying in the
Mm.
closet because I was used to my children. I was used to one being home because they were younger. I was
Mhm.
used to the other ones going out, but them being fully home and me having to teach them. Oh wow, it was a big adjustment. I talk about that on my podcast. It's a big
Yeah.
adjustment because now you're no longer a stay at home mom. Now you're a stay at home mom slash teacher slash counselor. It's just you put on more
Hats.
jacket,
Mhm.
and it's just, girl, I don't even want to say hats. I'm saying jackets because it was heavy. Like, it was just, I found myself, I had to find ways. Well, let me stay on topic. But
No, no, go ahead.
yes, okay. I had to, during that time, if Black lasts, they're going to school in August.
I
We're
know
going
that's
to
right.
run it by. Um, but I had to find ways to cope,
Yeah.
to stay sane. Not saying that my kids were driving me crazy, but it's just like,
They were
you're
driving you crazy.
afraid. No, I don't want to say it.
Because
I don't want to
sometimes
say
that's what it. My sister called me one day, or I happened to text her one day, and because we always text or whatever.
mm-hmm.
And she was just no. I happened to stop by one day. Let me get the story right, Lord. I
Okay.
happened to stop by one day, and I get in there, and she's on the verge of tears, and I just knew like just to hug her and hold her. She was so overwhelmed, not because she don't love her kids or she's not a good mom.
Yeah.
Just she got three at that time 6-year-olds and got everybody around the table and she has to hop from this computer to the next computer to help this person. Now this person distracted. They're not paying attention. And it's constant. It's constant. It's day after day. And they're in the home. And she can't wash the clothes. She can't cook. She can't get the dishes done. Somebody need help with something. And so I can understand how it can feel like, oh my God, I'm going crazy. Like this is a lot. For mothers who are used to having, I think what stay at home moms do really well is they have a schedule because they have to have one, right? Because nobody else gonna give you one.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a schedule, and then sometimes it's just so hard, especially this past year. What I saw with her, at least, it was just hard to stick on schedule because kids don't care about those schedules. They don't care. And so
Mm-mm.
I just want to encourage women at least to be able to say like I just felt a little crazy sometimes and that's okay because
Yes.
that experience is valid. Like
Yeah.
I know I couldn't I know I couldn't do what y'all have done over this last year and a half with staying at home and being a teacher and being a counselor and doing it day
Girl.
after day after day and
I
still
had to
taking care of
find
your
ways.
spouse.
Girl, when he came home, I got goals. I could hear him like, "What Kanisha at? Kanisha in here eating chips. Don't bother
I'm
me."
relaxing. Don't knock on this
Girl,
door.
in the closet. Like, the closet was my hideaway.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and like I always say, like, I always reference back to my podcast because sometimes I got to go back and hear myself. Like, okay, well, this is what you said. I
Mm-hmm.
have to find ways to get my woosah moments, and I will leave them in here. I will have to have like a little setup for Nadia because she's like, I want to be on the computer. I want to be on the computer. So I had to get her a tablet and find ways to entertain her. Girl, I'm outside, like just sitting outside on the porch, just like, Lord, keep my mind. Like
Right.
it was so much. And I think if we would have known that the pandemic was coming, I could, and I knew that the kids were gonna be home. Maybe I could have pre-planned or something.
Mm-hmm.
Girl, just hearing my refrigerator open just gave me chills. So I'm like, they opened it so much. Can we get a snack? Can we get a snack? Can we get a snack? But you know how you hear a sound over and over and you don't like that sound?
PTSD with the refrigerator.
Girl, I be like, oh.
Oh my goodness. But that's real. It's the small, I know it's the small stuff.
Girl, that's why I'm like, they going to school. I'm going to rub them down. We're going to pray over them. We're going to trust and believe that God is going to heal and deliver and the Lord's going to watch over them.
Right.
Bye.
Bye. Girl. Oh, I love that though. I think that a lot of mothers, not even just stay-at-home moms, but a lot of mothers will be able to relate to that because honestly, y'all are amazing for what you have been able to do and accomplish. Those of you who are involved, because I did recognize that there are some children who don't have parents who care as much, like who don't have parents who were going to take on that load on in the way that they needed to. So those of you who have, like, I applaud you because, girl.
Let's take being a stay-at-home mom out of it. Let's just do away with being a stay-at-home mom and let's just focus on the working mom. Girl, my heart went out to those women because you got to find a place for your child to go during the day, you know, for them to get school. And then some of the daycares have closed down, you know, and then, like you said about some of these kids, that school was their safe place.
Yeah.
You know, I was like...
Or some mothers didn't have the choice. They had to send their child to school.
Yeah.
Even though they might not have wanted to because they had to go to work and they had no other option. You know, so sometimes I just, it's, y'all.
That's why I told Quentin, I was like, think about the moms that have jobs at this time. Like, of course it's better now, but before, when the pandemic first started, girl, people were going crazy because they didn't know, like, what I'm going to do with my child. Even when the schools had closed down for a period of time, what are they going to do? You know, girl, I even thought about, like, should I open up a little side hustle daycare?
You know, make some money. College fund. Okay. How has motherhood affected the expression of your womanhood?
It made me be better. It makes me still want to be better. Situations happen. It's just not me anymore. I have 4 little people looking up to me that I'm like, okay, well, I could handle this situation like this, but I have children now.
Oh, so you ain't fighting nobody in the streets?
Girl, no, that's long ago. We ain't doing that. We just, just my future.
Yeah.
You know, you're thinking about, okay, my kids, what, if I decide to do this, is it going to benefit my kids? You know, it's just not me. You know, when I started my business, I was like, can I see this big? Can I see outside of this little room? And the money that I make, will I be able to make enough to set up for my children? Right. You know, to leave something for them.
How would you describe yourself as a woman outside of motherhood?
I just be chilling. I just that's just me.
Those are not adjectives. I just be chilling.
I just be chilling, girl. I think I'm loving. I'm outgoing. I'm fun. I'm curious. And I know if she's listening, she's going to be like, you got that right. You are curious. I'm full of questions. I'm always seeking something. I'm pursuing something. I'm always thinking something. I don't know. Like, I'm just open to whatever. I'm a Gemini. That's me.
Oh, God.
Girl, I am a Gemini.
You know, it's an Aquarius over here. I see you, air sign. I see you. But I asked that question because, like you said, like we've mentioned before, a lot of women in their motherhood journeys, they'll feel as though motherhood overtakes their ability to be a woman in their own right. Like they'll lose themselves in the care of their children or in the care of their spouse, of their wife too. And so I just wanted to give a moment to celebrate like womanhood can exist outside of, you know, motherhood and, you know, being a spouse and all these other hats that women wear, because at the core, like, you know, we are still ourselves outside of all of that. These other
Yeah.
things are a part of us, but they're not the only thing that there is of us. Like, I think I said
Hmm.
that right.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
What was the decision making process? No, we kind of covered that. Let me skip. Let me skip. So let's kind of talk about you mentioned your business. And so you have, that's one of your wraps you have on. I hope you guys go to the YouTube channel. And you do t-shirts, you do head wraps. Do you do anything else for
I do
your
face.
business?
I do matching. Excuse me. I do head wraps with matching masks. I do, like
Oh
you said,
yeah.
t-shirt.
Hmm.
I just do regular mask. I do Starbucks cups. I wish I had like some little stuff with me, but um, I do a host of different stuff.
I love it. I really do because I'm like, yes, I need to get like a yellow wrap. So I'm gonna be hitting you up
Yeah.
after
Okay.
this.
Yes.
Like a little
Okay.
combo working up. But what I feel like that's something you did for yourself, probably. I mean, of course it's gonna benefit your family. But how did you come about deciding that that's the particular business that you wanted to start?
Well, I'm not gonna get in the back story because we'll be here all day. But I wear for majority. I wear my hair covered, not like how I used to,
Hmm.
but I still wear it covered more times than none. Um, and I was like, the pandemic is going on, so we got to wear a mask. So why not just make it just do
Right.
what it do? Make it look good, make it match. And like my slogan said, even like when I was in school, if you remember, I always wear like the crazy hairstyles and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I was like, even though that's not me anymore, I still wanted to make a statement. So why not do that with a head wrap with a matching mask? And I always love to wear shirts that said something, shirts that had words or pictures or different stuff on it. So I was like, why not just make a business out of it?
And that's awesome. Let's plug in. Let me scroll. I gotta scroll back up so I can figure out. It is okay. You gotta say the name of this for me because I don't want to say it wrong.
You said, tell me what it's pronounced. Tell me.
Okay, Catery, Catery,
KDR.
KDR. Okay, see, KDR Wraps. That is the name of your business. And do you have like a website or anything they can visit to purchase?
I don't. I'm working on a website, but you can go to Facebook and type in my business page, type business name, and then like my business page will pop up.
Got you. All right.
Hmm.
Let's hop back in these questions real quick. We finishing up in a second.
Okay,
What have you learned about yourself as a woman through your motherhood?
that I definitely need to work on patience. I need to work on patience. I need to work on listening more
Hmm.
because, well, I think I've mastered tuning people out. Because when you have a house full of people, there's 6 people living in this house. There's so much going on.
Mm-hmm.
I've mastered tuning people out. So one of my kids could be talking. I could be looking at TV, and one of them be talking to me, and they're like, "Ma'am, Ma, you hear me?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I did not hear you," because I'm so used to tuning out. So now I'm trying to work on tuning back in, listening more because they could be telling me the house on fire and I'm sitting here like zoned out, you know. So I've learned there's so much I need to work on. What was the question again? I
No, you
feel
can
like I
answer
just went
it.
off.
No, I said,
Okay.
what have you learned about yourself as a woman through motherhood? And you're saying that you learned that you need to work on your patience and your
Yeah.
listening skills.
Yeah, I
What
need to
about
work on my
something
listening.
positive?
That I girl, you get me kind of teary a little bit.
Oh, no, look,
That
I am a real empathetic person. You start crying, girl, I might start. Okay.
that the love that I have is so deep.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you think you can just love somebody. You like, well, I don't think I ever find love, girl. You will never. Your children,
Mm-hmm.
you know, just the love that you have for them and the love. I never thought like I know my husband loves me, but your children, like the
Right.
love that they show towards, especially when they're younger, like they just be like, "Ma, I love you." You know, you be like, "Oh, dog, like I can do no wrong in this person's eyes,"
Mm-hmm.
and you want to be better for them. You like, I gotta every day I wake up, I got to be better than I was yesterday. You know, I want to
Right.
be so much. I want to be better for them. I want to be their superwoman. You know,
Right.
so
I love that. Definitely, I'm just an auntie, but I know them random moments that make me boohoo cry where they just walk up to you, be like, "I love you." I'm like, what I do? I'm just here, and you just think I'm the greatest
yeah,
person. I ain't did nothing. So
yeah.
I can only imagine how it feels to actually be involved on a day-to-day basis with these little people, to see them have grown from inside your womb to now like out in life, and to have those moments with them. I know that's just a beautiful thing.
Girl, because you look at your kid. Well, I look at my kids and be like, I birthed that.
Mm-hmm.
Like that came out of me. You know, like, oh
Right.
wow. And I'm raising God gave me this little person to raise.
Yeah.
And I wanna raise them to be good. You know? You don't
Yeah.
wanna raise no devils and I
Hopefully
wanna
not.
raise girl. So you try your hardest to just be a good parent.
Mm.
You're not gonna always get it right, and I think that's where a lot of women, because you can say that you're an acting mother, because you step in from time to time and help your sister.
Mm.
We think like, okay, I gotta, oh, I messed up, which that's where the guilt comes in at. But it's like, it's all right. We're gonna just try it again differently tomorrow.
Right. And that's
Hmm.
something I'm just like, you're right. Like, learning so much, being on the kind of like the sidelines, but having those moments where I do step in, and I am that go-to person for, my nieces and nephews, and being a part of, their process of growing. I understand, like, I sometimes I'm hard on myself. I'm like, oh my God, like, I lost my patience, or I didn't say this correctly, or did I answer their question? How are their minds going to be forming based on the conversation that I just had with them? Just stuff like that. And
Hmm.
you have to be gracious with yourself, because it's just like, you're not going to always get it right. Like, but
No.
children are very resilient, and they're smart, and they're going to,
Hmm.
hopefully get to an age where they understand that even in your imperfection, you love them and you tried your best, because that's what I did with my
Yes.
parents.
Hmm.
you know?
Yeah, because I tell Nas all the time, he does something, I say, be better than me.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I just say that, he'd be like, yes, ma'am. You know,
Like,
be
I ain't about to
better.
argue. I know not to
He's like,
argue with
yes,
you.
ma'am. So
It's so interesting seeing the development of little boys versus girls, and that's something that I always find funny, because the dynamic between me and my nephews and me and my nieces are so different. It's so different. So I laughed at that because I could hear one of my nephews saying that.
because girls are more like Nadia is more attached to Quentin,
mm.
and my boys are to me. But I'm like, Nadia, why you don't wanna hug me? She's like, no, ma'am. I'm like, oh, okay. So
Right. So, kind of leading into this next question, what do you hope to instill into your children?
like I said before, to be yourself, be your authentic self. Always just love life, enjoy life. To always be nice. You just use your manners. I teach my kids, use your manners. Manners will get you a long way. And I just want them to know that they can just do whatever they want to do. Be who they want to be. They can be whatever they want to be when they grow up, and just to stay where you are now. That makes sense. Like, don't grow up
Yeah.
too fast.
Enjoy.
enjoy the little moment.
Enjoy the present and make sure that you're not so much in a rush to grow up that you forget how precious that moment is. I can definitely
Mm-hmm.
see kids do it, especially in the age of social media. It
Yes.
happens a lot. Yeah. I tell
Yep.
my niece, like, girl, please, like, being an adult, it's not always cracked up to be sometimes.
Girl, what Nene said? The ghetto. It's ghetto being a grown up.
Ghetto. Okay. You got to make all the decisions, pay all the bills. Okay. It's ghetto.
Yeah. I wish I would have known, but your parents are like, oh, don't stay in the child's place. Don't grow up too fast. I'd be like, Lord, if I can go back
Like, do so.
to the age,
Just savor it a little bit better.
girl, I would do it.
Okay. What does your spouse think about your parenting style or your motherhood?
He likes it. He doesn't. He lets me do my thing, and then he's like, all right, Kanisha, you shouldn't let them get away with that, because like I say, they think I'm the cool parent because I'm more of the talker. Like, okay, you're not gonna do this. But he was like, maybe you shouldn't have let them off the hook so easily. But he doesn't say too much. If you remember Quentin from school, he was a
Oh, I
man of few
remember. That's why I'm
words.
laughing because I'm like,
So
I can see the dynamic where he's like a little bit more laid back, and you probably just, you and you with your
yeah,
vibrant self. And I'm laughing because I was like, I can see him saying that.
girl, we be in here playing. He be like, y'all need to chill out in there, So he be like, just handle that a little better next time. I be like,
Right.
okay.
I love that because it sounds like you both are helping each other kind of find your own unique parenting style and just helping each other grow by calling each other out when it needs to happen, but not in a harsh way like, well, you
Yeah.
should have did it that way. It's like, no, just be a little better next time. I feel like you could have just handled it this way, and so let's try that the next time something like this happens.
Yeah, because I had a stepfather, but my real father was never in my life.
Mm-hmm.
So my stepdad really wasn't there like he should be. So to see Quentin with our kids, it's like, dog. You kind of think of how it would have been with you if you would have had a dad.
Yeah.
So I'd be like, Lord, I thank you that he is man enough to say, okay, I'm going to be here for my family.
Right.
So I just love to see the interaction with all of them together.
That's awesome. Because I was going to ask you what you thought about his, but you just the
Oh,
fact that
girl, when he handling his business, I get out the way.
he's.
I let him do his thing. We don't never. I never say, well, Queen, you don't need to do that. I let him do his thing because obviously he's the head of the household, so he knows. I know he would never do anything to jeopardize our children, tell our children anything wrong. So I just let him handle that.
Right. You like, Daddy got it.
He got it, girl. I'd be happy.
Look, I ain't
But
got to make a decision. I ain't got to do it.
one thing that we as a family we're still working on is the kids will walk past him, come to me, Mom, can I get a snack?
It asks you something.
Quit it. Like,
Why you think
but
he do that? Are you gonna say yes more than Daddy?
huh?
Are you gonna say yes more than Daddy does? Uh,
I am. And a lot of that, if I can make an excuse, comes from my own childhood. Me being the only child and my mom letting me, yes, 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 yes.
right.
She said no sometimes, but majority of the time it was a yes.
Right. And
So
that's okay to admit. Look, I feel like you just kind of don't be hard on yourself because that's why you have a partner to kind of balance you out with that.
mm-hmm.
Like you said, you acknowledge like, okay, this is what we still working on as a family. Like, no, y'all go to y'all dad and ask why y'all just walk past him. Y'all think I'm gonna say yeah, ain't it?
Girl, them kids be like, I'm like, go ahead, shut that. They be like, never mind.
Never mind. Look, kids are so smart. They are so smart. They know. They know. They do my sister the same way. And they will go and they will ask me something if I'm over there. They will ask me something because they know that she probably an hour or two before I got there told them they couldn't have some, and they'll come to me. But see, I ain't with them games. Hey, you said they could have such and such. Oh, so you thought you was smart?
I was like, dang, I knew I shouldn't ask.
Or I'd be like, go ask your mom. Never mind. Oh, okay.
Look, I ain't even hungry no more. I'm good.
All right. What advice would you give to Black mothers considering being stay-at-home moms?
Don't watch. Don't. How about to say? Don't watch TV looking at other stay-at-home moms.
Right.
Do your own thing. Figure it out for yourself. You ain't gonna never get it right. Every day I'm still learning on how to be a mom. Even though I feel like some stuff I've mastered, but when you're raising humans, it's okay if you get it wrong. Just be yourself. I can't stress that enough about be your own mom. Not when I say your own mom, not your mom that raised you, but be like I'm my own mom. I'm Kanisha. I'm not gonna look at another household and say, okay, well, this is how she's raising her children. Maybe I should do the same thing. I don't like stuff like that. Just be you. Figure it out.
Right.
Piece this puzzle together because you ain't gonna get it right. But have fun while doing it.
Yes.
You make your own journey. Be the author of your own family book.
Yes. And just by your energy, I can tell you are a wonderful mother. I'm so happy for your kids.
I love my kids. Yes. I love my children. I love them. They make me better. Like, girl, when I hang up with you, I'm going in there and start up some stuff. I don't know what.
Look, give me a hug. Give me a kiss. Look, when they get to a certain age, they don't want to give it no more.
Girl, that's nice. We're going to go in there. I'm going in there and we're going to make some noise just to get Quinn fired up. Like, because I used to YouTube, but got lazy and girl, we have a lot of fun. It be loud in here. It be loud, but I love it. I'm here for it.
4 kids, I can't imagine it being quiet. I really can't, unless they're all introverts.
No.
But this has been a great conversation. I appreciate you for coming up here and sharing your experience and being transparent and just being awesome with all your bubbly energy.
Thank you.
Go ahead and plug your information, plug your podcast, your social media, and plug your business too for those who are out there wanting to find and support you.
Okay, so first, my podcast name is Stay at Home Mom Vibes. I'm on all major social media. No, wait a minute. Let me start over because I've been messing up. Okay.
I can cut it out. Don't worry about it.
Okay, so you can find me on all major platforms of podcasts, wherever. What in the world?
It happens. I do it all the time. Listen, I do it and don't edit it out because...
Please edit this out, girl. They're going to be like, what? Maybe she should have wrote that down. Okay, so you can find me on all major
streaming platforms.
Okay, this is the last time I'm getting.
Okay, take 5.
There we go. So you can find Stay at Home Mom Vibe on all major podcaster platforms, and
why you looked at me?
Look, I'm not gonna look at you like I'm just gonna look at me. Okay. Please delete this out, please.
So I don't know how to delete it from the video, but you know what? It's gonna be this is good visual, but I'll delete it off the audio. I got you.
Okay. All right. So YouTube, we're gonna get it together. All right. So you can find Stay at Home Mom Vibes on all major platforms where your podcasts are heard, and you can find my business at KDR Reps on Facebook. My personal Instagram is Nisha Rush, and my personal Facebook is Kanisha Rush. I know it's a lot, but yeah, you can find me there.
Right. I'll always plug the tags and everything, the business into the show notes or into the details of the episode. So even if you're confused, all you have to do is copy and paste or click on the link. So they'll be able to find you
Yep.
regardless.
Yes.
And you guys know me. I am your host, Kantoinette, and you can follow me on Instagram at Kantoinette_the blogger. You can also follow the Let's Build Futures page at Let's_build_futures and visit let'sbuildfutures.com for blog posts and podcast episodes. Remember to visit YouTube because that's where I have the visual episodes. You will be able to see what just happened at
It's
the end of
good.
this one, right? Um, but also, just make sure you guys are subscribing to my channel and also leaving a review or a comment on the LBF podcast, which you can get on all your major streaming platforms, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more. So until next time, this has been a great discussion. Again, shout out to our guest, Stay at Home Mom Vibes, and we are out.
Bye.
Let's build